Christian, just first day back after a couple of days off. What's the reset like? What was today like for you and the group?
Yeah, easing back into training. We have a few weeks here to stay sharp. That's one thing that we talked about: staying sharp, maintaining fitness. But having 3 days to step away from the game and relax a little bit. Obviously, we're into the next round, so it was nice to kind of step away from the game and then refocus up when you come back in.
Moving on is always a great, but the performance wasn't great. So just your take on the team's performance, your performance playing the 10 specifically to start the game off.
Well, I think defensively, we struggled a little bit more than usual. Even I felt like we had a few chances offensively, but we weren't clean possession-wise. We seemed a bit tired, fatigued from, I think, playing in the warmer weather. But again, I talked about this in the media. When you have a bad game and you can still get away with a win without guys, that's a good sign of a good team. And so to be missing guys, and then guys coming off the bench and contributing, and then scoring every single PK, that's the positive that we're looking at it. But if we perform like that in the next round, it's going to be a difficult playoffs for us. We want to be able to kind of advance, but we want to be able to play our style as well.
What did you learn last year that you are applying this time around as far as the expanded break? Like how are you as a player kind of approaching this extended break between the rounds to be ready for that?
Yeah, well, I talked about being sharp, right? Having a good mentality coming out to training is really important. These next couple of weeks, we're going to be missing guys. So how can we maintain the level of training still high? How can we emulate a game so that we stay in rhythm? Those are things that our coaches will do a really good job of kind of creating that standard that we need. So that's really important moving forward, and hopefully we can accomplish it.
I asked your coach a little bit. Do you remember scoring a hat trick like that in a game?
I joked around about it in the locker room about scoring a hat trick, and I should have gotten a game ball, but I didn't. It's okay. But no, in all seriousness, it was a bummer that I had the own goal. Steph deflects it a little bit, and it kind of throws me off a little bit. So unfortunate, but in the end, I'm trying to save a goal and put myself I put myself in a tough spot just trying to defend that. But in all seriousness, happy I scored a goal, and then happy we were able to score a penalty and get through.
And you have to make a play on that ball just to move forward because it's going so fast in the box. Anybody can get that.
Yeah, there's two guys behind me as well, so like it's hard to leave it. And if it doesn't go in or I don't touch it, and they'll probably be scoring it.
On a more moving forward here, can you talk about at what point, if this team became so close, was any one thing that happened, or was it just a natural progression for the group?
I think it's a natural progression. I think we've brought in Andy Rose, who has helped a whole bunch with that, with the player side of things. We've had this squad for quite some time now. Obviously we have some additions, but over the course of time, how we train, we do stuff off the field a little bit more now. It's a combination of a lot of things, but I think the culture and the standards that we've set, along with the new facility, has helped so much.
In terms of time off, when you first started, I think you were single, you weren't married, so now, you've got, how does that change? How does the dynamic change now?
Yeah, you're on daddy duty. That's, I don't have a whole lot of time these days. So when I get the days off, I'm able to spend a lot of time with my family. And the days fly by a lot faster, whereas when you had a day off and you were single, you didn't know what to do with your time.
What are the conversations like internally with the players saying, we've got 3 weeks off, but it's not a vacation type of like. You have to have those conversations with each other, or is it sort of just a thing where you have to trust everybody to be smart about what they're doing with, like you have a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, you have to trust the locker room, right? Like, we're all professionals here. If someone shows up and not ready to train, you'll see it, right? Like, and I'm sure the coaches will have a word with those guys. But there's obviously a huge trust factor, but also the guys are motivated. It's a young squad, a squad that if you're not ready to train, especially the older guys, the second guys will eat you up. They come here to train. They have a bunch of energy, so you have to be ready to train. And so I really think that the young guys have been creating a really competitive environment, and it's kudos to those guys for showing up every day, and then that forces guys that maybe are on the older side to be ready to train.
Do you will you guys watch the game at all, Friday's game as a group or anything like that?
Yeah, we actually tried to get team dinner out on Friday, but we have training on Saturday, so we decided to do team dinner on Saturday. But I think some of the boys are getting together for the LAFC game versus Vancouver on Friday.
And then as far as culture, how much has your Barber Shop business gone? Has it gone well, or what can you share as far as that part?
I haven't done too many haircuts actually,
Oh, no.
but we've brought in a few barbers. It's allowed me to recover a little bit more. Being able to use all the nice tools that we have here, and the barber that we have is a former academy player, and so it's really nice to have him come over.
Who's that?
Josh Arroyo.
Oh, okay.
Josh Arroyo.
Okay. And then, so did he do Pedro's or?
Yeah, I think he did Pedro's, but he does basically all the guys.
Oh,
on the team.
okay. Do you guys just because of the Ted Lasso show, I always like that scene where they got all their haircuts together. Is that a thing going into the playoffs, or like?
Maybe something we can talk about.
Okay,
We definitely.
that sounds good.
I know some of the guys have dyed their hair, but usually when one guy gets a haircut, six or seven guys are getting haircuts. So
When you look at the matchup, obviously that's potentially yours. Do you think about, all right, obviously you get to host one, but the other one, I get my revenge against the LAFC team that we've struggled all year long. Like, what's that thought process individually and as a group?
Yeah, I think in the end, it's whatever happens, right? Like, you don't root for one or the other. In the end, right? You just want to win, and you want to get by, and so if it's LAFC, it's LAFC. If it's Vancouver, then we need to be ready. Vancouver's a really good squad, and they're playing really well right now. But yeah, of course, we'd all like to be at home as well. It's nice to play in front of our crowd, but it's up to them to decide who we play.
I know there were some conversations about, or Alex kind of joked about it being a playoff mustache. Did he try to pressure you into trimming off the beard?
No, he didn't pressure me. I don't think I'd look as good as he does. I have a lot of hair on my face to cover up a lot of my blemishes. So Alex is a pretty good guy, so he's able to get away with it.
What would you rate his mustache? Like 1 to 10 kind of situation.
It's up there. I would say like a 9. Yeah, it's up there, man. He keeps it nice and tidy.
Cristian, ¿qué ambiente se respira en el vestuario? ¿Hay confianza y optimismo de cara a los próximos partidos?
Sí, pues ahorita tenemos confianza especialmente en nuestra defensa. Estamos jugando muy bien defensivamente. En el ataque siempre podemos mejorar, pero sí, con confianza. Estamos en el otro fase de los playoffs y espero un partido muy difícil el que viene.
¿Sientes que cuando se defina mejor los resultados van a venir?
Sí, yo creo que pues todo el año pues es difícil para nosotros meter goles. Si ganamos un partido es 1-0, es 2-1 y siempre es difícil y pone mucha presión en nuestra defensa. Cuando entran los goles sería mucho más lindo y mucho más fácil ganar partidos y menos presión defensivamente.